Hey YouTube, so it's Saturday afternoon, well actually I should say almost evening. You can see the sun, it's almost down below the trees. 7 o'clock. I was working on my taxes all day today, so besides a splitting freaking headache, I hate the fact that I have to write out these checks. But anyway, I'm trying to go to something different here. So it's the 13th, I believe, Saturday the 13th. I get a lot of comments about cutting and stuff. There's some guys out there don't like the way I do things. I don't really care what they have to say because this is my sawmill, my logs, you know, my channel. I do what I want to do, but I don't do anything haphazard. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't, especially when you're talking about logs, because you never really know what you got. But I'm pretty sure that I've got a beautiful white pine log here. It's 30 inches at that end. It's 24 inches at this end. So that makes it about 27 inches in the middle as an average width. So what I want to tell you to start off with is, I don't know if I said it's 16 foot long, but it's 16 feet long. This log weighs about a ton and 80 pounds, so 2,080 pounds. That's what this log weighs. Now, when a buddy of mine and I, when we saw the log laying down at the site, he was with me, I says to him, man, I can get about 108 footers out of that thing, plus the other piece that's with it, which is actually laying right there, pine log. And you know, he looked at me as if I was crazy, but in reality, this log will give me a 17-inch cant, and out of that I should be able to get around 36 2x4s, 36, 32, somewhere in there. I'm going to just say 36 2x4s, 16 feet long. Now here's my game. I want to add on to my garage 12 feet, okay? So I need 14 footers, 2x4s, if I make trusses. If I don't make trusses, I still need 16 or 14 footers for the roof rafters. Because if I don't use trusses made out of 2x4s, I'm going to have rafters made out of 2x6s. So I'm hoping to build the trusses out of this. I actually like making trusses on the ground. It's a lot easier for me than it is to put the rafters up. When I was younger, it's a different story. I used to like rafters rather than trusses. But anyway, so what you got here is you got a 1-ton log, and this will test be a good test for the tow board. It's a 1-ton log, 16 foot long, and I'm looking at being able to get, like I say, 36 16 foot 2x4s out of this thing. Now, if I were to cut that in half, you're looking at 72 2x4s 8 foot long. 72 of them, okay, out of one log. Just imagine back in the day when they first came to this country, and some of these eastern white pine were 4 feet in diameter, how much wood they were getting from trees. If you were to come to this country now after it's been pillaged by everybody and try to build everything we've built up until this point with what's left as far as trees go, you'd never be able to do it unless you were using, you know, like that finger jointed stuff maybe. But anyway, that's what the story with this log is. Now I'm not going to be cutting it today because I just don't, like I said, I was busy all day and I just had to get some air. But I can't wait to cut this thing. But before I cut it, I want to think about how I want to do this. There's enough 2x4s 8 foot long in here to frame out the entire, you know, 12 by 24 part of the garage. I can come across, down, and over, frame out a door, a window, and have enough for the top plates of the walls. This log will do that entire business and still have a bunch of 2x4s left over. So I'm not sure how I want to do this. I want to think through it a little bit. I want to look at some of the other logs too, because I have some pine logs here, but some of them don't look right to me in the one end, so they might end up being short. Let me just see here. This is about a 12 footer. This looks like a pretty good log. 12. Let me get my tape measure, because actually 12 foot's not enough for the truss I need. Okay, so let's see what this log is here. Yeah, see, this thing is only 12.5 feet. So that's not going to give me enough for the trusses. This log here. If I can find something 14 foot long, I might be able to get truss 2x4s for the trusses out of that. I'm gonna just shut you off for a second, bring it back. I think this one might be, well, let me say here, this one might be 14 foot. Yeah. So this log is 14 foot long, and it looks pretty solid to me. Now there's a little bit of a kink in it, but in reality I only need 7 trusses, so that would be 14 2x4s, 14 foot long for the trusses. So let's just see what I got here. 16 inches, I'll probably get a 12-inch cant. So 12, that would be 6, let's see, 6 times 3, that's 18. So 18 2x4s, 14 foot long. So what did I say I needed? I need, let's see, I got to remember it, 18. Alright, so 18 of them, so I need 12, or no, 6, 7. Yeah, so that's 14. Yeah, that's this. I should get enough 2x4s out of this for the roof trusses. Okay, now that wouldn't be for the bottom cord, but it's okay. It's for the 2 angle cords, which is fine, the rafters themselves, because I'm going to have to join the bottom, because nothing I have here is 24 feet long. So this will make the trusses that I can get all the 2x4s out of if I cut it in half. I sure as heck don't like the idea of cutting this in half. But what I'm trying to do is, with the video, is just give you an idea of how you can think through some of this stuff. You know, what I decide later will be my decision naturally. I'm just telling you guys that, you know, you need to think through what you have before you go cutting. I know so many people, they can't wait to get the log on the mill and start cutting it up into God knows what. Now I do have a lot of 2x4s laying here, so like this one here will give me a bunch of 2x4s. This one will give me 2x4s. And this one will give me 2x4s. And this one will give me 2x4s. So will that and this. So I've got more than enough pine here, white pine, to get enough 2x4s to frame, you know, the walls of the garage. And I'm not going to start that garage right away. I might not even build it till next year, because I got so many things I need to do. I want to get the crane finished. But anyway, what I'm after here is, you know, do I have what I need to do the job? And it looks like I do. So I might even have enough 1x to do the roofing, to actually use 1x12 or whatever to do the roof sheathing. I have to do some more thinking about this, because I have quite a few up there. So anyway, that's just one way of looking at things, which is, you know, like I say, I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about doing this and what I want to cut it into. If this log is as nice as I think it is, I might be better off just cutting this thing into, I don't know, either 2x6s or something bigger. 2x8s wouldn't be bad, because then I can cut 2x4s out of it. I got to check and make sure I get the cant out of this that I want. I think it's going to be 17-inch cant, but I might be able to get an 18-inch out of it. I'm not positive yet. Probably only 17. But yeah, like I say, you want to think through this stuff, because you know, I don't want to have to buy anything, and using this lumber on the garage, I can do that. In this neck of the woods, I don't have to worry about anything with it, as long as it's good stuff. And from what I see there, it's looking pretty good to me. So you're looking at probably, like I say, I need 48 2x4s to frame out the walls, plus let's see, 48 more feet only. I need 48 individual 2x4s, but then I need 1, 2, 3, 4 12-footers, which I can get from that second log we looked at there, the second one up right here, for the top plates and the bottom plates of the building. So it's looking like I got all the stuff I need to frame out the garage and to make the trusses. So that's a good thing. And to get the other thing that I'd like you to know is you're looking at almost 400 board feet of lumber here out of this log, this one log, 400 board feet. So one 2x4 is roughly 5, well, I think it's 5.3 if I'm not mistaken. 5.3. I try not to remember everything. I can pretty much find it if I have to. But yeah, so there's a lot of 2x4s there. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that big log, and that's one of the reasons I haven't just thrown it on there and start cutting it up, because I want to make sure that I end up with the lumber that I'm in need of. I'm going to have to check out just how much, make a list of how much pine I have here. That's one of the reasons I made that software, or that spreadsheet for the little computer, so that I could do the board foot calculations real fast and not try to remember them, because I'm getting too old to remember everything. But yeah, there's plenty of pine here to give me 2x4s from. So anyway, guys, like I say, my main point is that, you know, think your way through this stuff before you go chopping and beating everything to death. Now, I cut mostly conventional lumber, in other words, conventional sizes. I like 1x6, I don't like 1x5. I like 1x4, I don't like 1x3. I like 1x8, I don't like 1x7. And I don't care if it's hardwood or softwood. I like it standard sizes because it's easier for me to sell at standard sizes. It's easier for me to figure out how much I can use with standard sizes and how much I need. It's only my own opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. So, yeah. Man, oh man, can you imagine having a whole forest of logs from a tree like that? Yow! That's what they had when they came here. I know there's some state forest in Pennsylvania that has some trees where I used to live before. It's actually not state forest, it's state game lands. And there must be about 8 or 9 trees this diameter and bigger. It's in a little stand that's fairly close to the road. It'd probably be pretty tough to cut them all down, and I don't think they want to cut them. They seem to like having, you know, big pines along the road and just rip everything off that's in the woods. You know, the way the forestry department works. But I'm just thinking to myself that, wow, can you imagine how much lumber was gotten from all those logs that were that big? Oh. Looks like the kiln's 80 degrees in there yet. It was around 65 today. So the frost is pretty much coming out of the ground. There's not much frost in the ground, I don't think. I gotta go dig a test hole somewhere because I want to be able to dig this hole for the crane as soon as I get the wheels or the bearings for it finished. Interesting. Alright guys, well, that's all I have for today. Like I say, I was working on my taxes. So have a good one, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.